welcome to another edition of Ed Talks. I'm Ed. I have with me today some of our Youth Tour alum from the most recent Youth Tour, and we wanted to hear from them about their experiences in the hopes that maybe they could share some stuff that would be of interest to others. So with that, why don't you introduce yourselves? We'll start with you, and then we'll keep going.
I'm Brody Hanson. I attend Lakota Local High School. And
Okay.
My name is Chase Huber, and I go to Hopewell Loudon High School.
Great. Well, thank you guys so much for coming in. So let's just start with you talking about your experience. What was some of your favorite things that you did?
I really liked getting to go and meet the representatives, Bernie Marino and John Husted. That was awesome. Got to fist bump Bernie Marino, so I can tell people I did that.
Yeah.
Touring the Supreme Court was an amazing activity, being able to see what goes on in there and some of the cool places in there. Meeting all sorts of new people and new friends and other delegates. That was awesome.
Great. How about you?
My favorite part would probably be interacting with people from different states and meeting friends from Ohio and the other cooperatives. And then when we went, I went on an 8th grade trip, we visited the monuments and stuff, and that's always cool. But this time, since it was more spread out, I felt like we could enjoy everything individually instead of cramming it together. So that was really nice.
Yeah, it's kind of cool all the stuff you get to do because it's an all-inclusive, all-expense-paid trip by the co-op. So you get to go to things that maybe you would not normally have gone to. So as we think about that, what is something that you learned on the trip that you really would like to share with others?
We visited the Holocaust Museum this time, and I'd never been there before, so that was cool to see. I guess that's not I didn't learn much there. Well, I learned a lot, but it was just cool to see
That first-hand experience of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, I went on youth tour a lot of years ago as a chaperone, and Holocaust Museum's always been one of my favorite too. Did you go through what I call the shoe room?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that there's this smell of the leather from all of those, just hundreds, maybe even thousands of pairs of shoes from the Holocaust victims in there, and being able to walk through that really had a profound impact on me. I don't know about you guys and what you thought about that, but that really brought it home how real that was.
Yeah.
And then in that museum, you also probably saw some of their personal testimonials or some of the little videos and stuff,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. What'd you think about that?
It was an interesting thing to see and hear about what happened and how people felt during the Holocaust. It was moving.
Yeah, I think it's just amazing what they put together and trying to keep track of history there, right?
Mm-hmm.
What about some of the fun stuff? I mean, it's not all touring monuments and things like that. I mean, that's a good reason to go, but you're also there to network with other people, and you talked about that a little bit, particularly meeting people from other states and things like that. Tell me about some of the fun stuff you did.
We had co-op night, which we got to completely mingle with whoever we wanted to. They had a dance. We got to...
How many people were in that room?
2,000 people. There was a ton of people in there.
Yeah.
All different co-ops were in there at the same time in all the different states. And got to dance, got to keep pin trading as we did the whole trip.
What is pin trading for people that don't know?
Every state has pins on the trip, and you can, during the trip, during specific times, you get to trade pins and try and collect as many of the states that are there as possible.
How'd you do?
I got 27 states.
Okay, how'd you do?
Not that good.
Not that good.
I got 15 or something.
Did you get the ones you wanted, though? Because there's
Yeah.
always one or two that everybody's I really want that state.
Yeah, I got a couple of the ones I wanted.
Like what?
I got an Alaska pin. There was one kid from Alaska there, and I got the Alaska pin.
Oh, okay. Maybe we need a picture of that so that they could put it in the video or something like that. What else did you do that was kind of fun?
When we were in National Harbor, they the first night they kind of let us roam free to have dinner and stuff, which was good to kind of just be able to be free there. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I had fun with like the kids on the trip, but also the chaperones. Like
Yeah.
Missy was really fun to talk to, and everyone was fun to talk to.
Have you guys kept up with people since?
Yeah.
From before?
Yeah.
So I still know kids that I chaperoned. I've been to some of their weddings and seen them over the years just develop, so it's kind of crazy the relationships you develop. So when you got on the bus, how were you feeling? Like when you were dropped off, put yourself back in that time frame. You're dropped off and you're like looking at all these people. What are you feeling at that moment?
I felt a little out of place, out of my comfort zone. All these people I've never met, I'm just gonna have to try and make friends. I was excited, but I was also like,
Yeah.
not sure what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah. What about you?
I was really nervous. We walked into like this big room, and everyone was like sitting at these tables, and it was weird to find like a seat and just like start talking to people. Obviously we're from North Central, but I didn't know Brody until
Yeah.
Different schools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know anybody, so I was nervous to.
Yeah. But then you go this whole week, right? And what's it like when you're getting off the bus?
I was sad I had to leave all these new friends.
Yeah.
I didn't really want to go home yet.
Yeah.
I wasn't done.
I always tell people, you're getting on the bus and you're hugging your parents, right? Because you're like, oh, I'm sad, I'm nervous, and going to this. But then you get off and you've got these kids that you're like hugging. I know there's a lot of tears at the end of the day. I've seen that a lot when people are getting off. So, yeah. Well, I'm glad you guys got to experience that. When you're on the trip, obviously the co-op is the one that sent you on this trip as a representative of North Central, like you just talked about. When you're there, what kind of things do you think you could relate back to our local community here and the co-op that sent you?
Well, all the things we learned about the co-op, specifically like that they're community-led and member-owned, and that they're not a profit organization. They're a non-profit organization, and they're designed to just help people, not to make money.
There was like a slideshow about what co-ops do, and like just teaching us like why we were sent on this trip and how we can become part of the co-op or like stuff like that. That was really cool. We talked about like specific problems and like stuff that we can relate to in our school and like our home, that is like that we could talk to the representatives about, and that was nice because personally, like, my school doesn't have like a theater program, or we kind of struggle in the arts and stuff. So when I thought about that, how like you guys could potentially even help with that, even though it's not something you specialize in, that made me like, and that encouraged me to like come here and talk to you more.
Yeah, that's great. So theater, right? I'm assuming you got to go see something while you were there.
Oh yeah.
We got to watch Les Mis.
Yeah.
That was an amazing performance.
Les Mis, not just like a local production either, but
Yeah.
like a national
Yeah.
production of Les Mis.
It was an awesome show.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Mhm. So the trip is intended to expose you to political stuff, but also cultural stuff that's related to our country, and then help you understand co-ops and where we fit into that. And it sounds like you guys really put that together, so I would call that a big success. Is there anything that you'd like to share that I haven't asked about that you think, oh, if I'm a student next year and I was considering this, why would I want to apply? What would you tell them that they need to think about when they're applying?
The application process was actually way easier than I thought it'd be. I just had to write a quick little essay, have a letter of recommendation, and a copy of my high school transcript, and that was all I had to have. I thought it'd be a little more complicated, but it was an actually easy application.
Yeah.
The application was really easy, and there's an extra part that's called Youth Leadership Council,
Yeah.
and I didn't apply for that, but I wish I did because I think I could have done well, and I don't know. I think that if you are a leader or you want to be a leader, that is something that you should apply for because it's very, very good.
Yeah, that would give someone who got that another trip back to DC, a trip to some co-op functions this next year at our annual meeting. Just all kinds of different opportunities, potentially open up for scholarships, things like that. So yeah, it's a really good opportunity, and anyone interested should really consider applying, not just for Youth Tour, but also for the YLC, Youth Leadership Council. But let's talk about Youth Day a little bit. So what do you think about Youth Day?
Youth Day was fun.
Yeah. So Youth Day is going to Columbus. So very similar to Youth Tour, but now you're going to the State House here in Columbus. And you get to go and sort of do a mini tour there for one day. We have really good food too along the way, so we get to do that. But what was some of your favorite parts about Youth Day?
When I went in October, when we were on our way back, that's how I learned about Youth Tour, and then I applied, and the food was good, but it was, I've never been to our state house, and it was cool to talk to the people, we talked to a lot of people about just the government and a bunch of different problems, and
You got to meet
solutions.
all your state legislators too, so get to fist bump with them, not just for Marina, but also the local ones. So again, anyone interested in Youth Day, definitely apply. And Youth Day often will lead to Youth Tour, so if you're interested, you should go both. And then switching gears a little bit more, I mentioned a little bit earlier that we have scholarships available. So what grades are you in?
I'm going to be a junior.
Okay.
I'm gonna be a senior.
Okay, so for you soon and for you now, we have scholarship programs available, and you should be looking at applying, and so should anyone else out there, because it is one of the least competitive scholarships out there, because it's only our local kids. So that means that you're not competing on a national stage or anything like that. It's co-op people, and so you have a better chance at that one than you might have at some others. It doesn't mean the barrier to entry isn't just as high, because we do have high expectations for people. But definitely consider applying for that, and everybody out there do the same. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having
Thanks,
us.
everybody.
Thank you.